Hello 11th standard business math students, welcome back to chapter 1 matrices and determinants. Today we are going to see about input output analysis and what are we going to do using this technique. Okay, so this technique input output analysis was invented by Professor Vasily W. Leontief. Okay, he was the person who invented this output analysis technique. Maybe you can say even as technique. What is this technique? This technique is about the interdependence of the sectors in an economy. You may wonder what is that what is that interdependence? In the course, in the next points all, it will be clear for you. This is what this interdependence between the sectors is only studied in this input output analysis. What is input? What do you mean by input? The resources, raw materials that are used for our production, okay, that are used for required for to produce something. And what is output? Output is nothing but the net result or the outcome, whatever we manufacture, okay, it may be of any type. And the third point, this is our second point. Okay, third point, what about the input and output as far as is concerned? Many sectors in an industry will be using the output of other sectors. This is what is called as interdependence, okay, as their input. Or this may be and their outputs will also be used as and their outputs will also be used as input by other sectors. Okay, so this is what is called as interdependence. Okay, so many sectors in an industry will be using the output of other sectors as their input, and their output will be used as input by other sectors. So this you will understand. So there is a circular interdependence. So this you will understand when I go through the table with an example, okay, between the sectors. This is most common in economy, very common in economy, or it may not be also same. One input can be used to produce one outcome also. They need not use the others input or the outputs for their sectors, okay. But most common is this circular interdependence between sectors. Okay, now before going into this analysis with all the technique, one more thing you should know is the assumptions. There are some assumptions which are very important or which play an important role. First assumption is number 1, economy is divided into n interdependent sectors. We are going to see with the 2 sectors and 3 sectors probably. So first we'll see with 2 sectors, then we'll go to 3 sectors if available. Okay, the sectors you can name it as also industries. Okay, it can be industries or sectors, both are same. Okay, what is the second assumption? Second assumption is absence of joint products. Or absence of substitutability of inputs. They need not substitute. Okay, substitutability of inputs. And the third one is the most important one, which is we are going to use in our solving the table, input output table. That is the proportionality assumption. What is that proportionality assumption? It goes like this: Xij equal to Bij into Xj. What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? Sorry. Output of ith sector used as input in jth sector will be proportional. That is this constant. Okay, proportional, we denote it by some constant, isn't it? Proportional to output of the jth sector. This is the meaning of this formula. Okay, Xij equal to Bij Xj, and here this Bij is called as the proportional coefficient or technological coefficient. So this is the main term we use here. Okay, technological coefficient, or you can call it a structural coefficient, which is a fixed one. Okay, Bij is a fixed one. This is called as a proportional coefficient or the technological coefficient. Now we are going to go with our example. What we are going to do with our example? Okay, so here I have got a table for you. Now we will see with that what are we going to do, or what is the meaning of this. Okay, now you see here, this is our sector 1. Okay, this is going to be our sector 1, agriculture, and sector 2 is the industry and labor. Okay, and here input in agriculture, input in industry column wise, final demand and the total output. Now if you see, this total output is distributed here. Okay, so if you name this as A11, name this as A11, and this is A12, and this is our demand, so D1, and this is our X1. Okay, similarly here this will be A21, isn't it? A21, A22, this is our second demand, and this is our X2. Okay, now what does this mean? What is the meaning of this? It is nothing but, what is the meaning of this? You are going to actually say what you are going to say here. Output of the first, how much? 25. Output of the first sector is used as the input in the first sector. First sector is going to be your agri. Okay, first sector is going to be your agri. This is your first sector and this is your second sector. Similarly, when you come to this 175, it is output from the first sector used as input in the second sector. Second sector is your industry. Okay, so, and this is the demand, final demand, that is got from your output. Okay, and these three constitute your total output. So you can find an equation in this. Okay, what is that equation? A11 plus A12 plus D1 equal to our X1. Okay, so this is our equation 1. Okay, now from this, similarly for the second one, when you write it as A21 plus A22 plus D2 equal to X2. Now this X2 on A11, you can take it from here, from this also, proportionality constant also you can take it, Xij, isn't it? That you can substitute here. Where are you substituting from this proportionality constant, isn't it? So what is that proportionality constant? So instead of this xij, I can write it as aij. Okay. So this aij is nothing but equal to, so what is the proportionality? Aij equal to Bij into xj. This is what we have got, isn't it? So now for A11, what is the meaning? The input, here I have written it, isn't it? Output of the first sector used as input in the first sector will be proportional to the output of the first sector. That is the meaning of this A11. Here we can write it as A11 equal to B11 into X1. So this is nothing but output of the first sector used as the input in the first sector will be proportional to the output of the first sector. Okay, so instead of A11, you can write it as, here this equation is 1 and this equation is 2. So in 1, when you substitute this proportional, you will get it as B11 x1, or you can place it with a small x1 also. Okay, so that it will be easy for both are the same. Okay, both are the same. This is going to be the small x1. Okay, here also you are going to write it as with small instead of capital. Both are same. So x1 plus, instead of a12, it is going to be v12 x2 plus d1 equal to x1. Second one, a21 is going to become your b21 x1 plus b22 x2 plus d2 will be equal to our x2. So this is our structural equation. Okay, this is our structural, because we have used this coefficient, this structural coefficient or the technological coefficient. Okay, now this you are going to convert it into matrix, and there you are going to get your technological matrix. Okay, these are the technological coefficients, isn't it? B11 and B. So it will become our technological coefficient. Okay, so now when you convert this into our matrices, you will get it as, what is going to be your matrix now? X. X1, X2 equal to, here you write it as B11, B12, B21, B22, that is the coefficient, and into our X, X1 and X2 plus D1, D2 is our demand. Okay. So after explaining this, I will go into this one. Okay, example, because when you explain this only you can follow with this example. Okay, so after doing this, we will go with this. Now, so actually how we can write this one as, this is going to be our x and this is going to be our bx plus demand is d. So when you bring this bx this side, this is going to be as x minus bx is equal to d, and when you take x common, the remainder of this will become as I1, isn't it? So since this is a matrix, you are going to put it as I, and here it is a 2 cross 2 matrix, so you will get I2, I minus b equal to d, which will give you, so you can solve for x, isn't it? So x equal to I minus b, I minus b. When this goes to the right hand side, you will take its inverse into d. So this is the solution for our input output table. Okay, so using this formula, so I wanted to explain to you how you get this formula using our input output analysis. So I have taken this example. I hope you understood this. We'll meet with the example in the next session. Thank you.